if you find like a murder weapon, like don't dial 911, just call Netflix. Like Netflix should get they should get a 3-digit phone number. Like dial 333. Hello Netflix, I just found a gun. I think it was used in a murder. Get here as fast as you can.
For the kids, knock, knock. Who got the candy for the kids, knock, knock. For the kids, knock, knock.
Welcome back to Macrodosing. It is Thursday. It is Halloween, October 31st. Spooky season. All Hallows Eve, bitch.
Yeah.
Do you know what Can gets?
Tell me.
A big boom!
There we go, Big T.
Oh, okay. I thought you were an umpire.
It's Halloween. We are dressed up. You want to go around the room and introduce your costumes?
Yeah.
Arian?
Kicking it off, I am Michael Jackson from The Wiz.
Scarecrow?
Yeah, but not just a regular Scarecrow. I'm Michael Jackson from The Wiz. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Ease on down the road. Don't you carry nothing that might be a load.
Come on.
Come on. Ease on down the road. Yeah, if I only had a brain. That's what a lot of people are going to be saying in this caption.
Y'all tell me this.
Okay.
What is The Wiz and why was Michael Jackson dressed as the Scarecrow?
You don't know what The Wiz is?
I clearly do not.
I mean, it did come out in like, what,
That's
1990,
true.
89? When did The Wiz
true.
come out?
I would say 90s, right?
So they had Michael Jackson doing Wizard of Oz?
Yeah.
Michael Jackson was the Scarecrow. So there was a black rendition of.
Oh, shit, it was
The Wizard of Oz.
1978.
78?
Yeah.
Jesus, fuck, that was before I was born too. Yeah, so it was a black rendition of The Wizard of Oz, and Richard Pryor was Oz. Fun fact: at the beginning of Euphoria, Kendrick Lamar diss track, that everything they say about me is true. He reversed that and put it on a track. That was Richard Pryor and The Wiz. Fun little tidbit.
Got it.
Yeah, but yeah.
I just thought you were the Black Scarecrow.
Why I gotta be a black scarecrow? Why can't you be a scarecrow? Why you guys gotta make everything race based, Big T?
Nah, you're
That's a good point. Don't rewind this podcast to 15 seconds ago when Arian said it was the black version of The Wizard of Oz.
right.
Touche.
Yeah, Diana Ross was in it too.
Yeah, Diana Ross.
That's a name I've heard a lot. Don't know that I could ever pick Diana Ross out of a lineup.
No, that's sad.
I'm looking her up right now.
That's sad.
Is she still with us or?
Oh, well.
That's
Yeah, 80 years old. Oh no.
Oh,
No,
Let's
Jimmy
not.
broke
Let's
the
not.
curse.
Let's
Jimmy
not.
broke
Not
the curse.
Diana. Not Diana. Macro squad. No, sir. Sprinkle a little Jimmy Carter on her.
she's still around. Try sprinkle some Jimmy Carter on her. Big T, who are you?
We're bringing the boom with the double chunk chocolate cookie.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I am AJ from the Costco Guys universe.
You do look like an umpire. Who said that? Was that Arian that said that?
Yeah, I put this
Yeah.
on yesterday and also kind of thought I looked like an umpire. But when you have the double chunk chocolate cookie.
You give off supreme umpire vibes just when you're on a day-to-day basis, not even
Right.
when you're dressed up.
Right.
That's why you're going to be our umpire for the part of my take pitching challenge against an unnamed college team.
Looking forward to that very much.
Yeah, big umpire vibes from Big T. I am Ms. Haley Welsh, not Ms. Miley Cyrus. I'm Haley Welsh. You guys
Never
might know
thought
her
she was
from
Miley Cyrus, yeah.
some vulgar, sophomore, childish viral moment. I know her from the Talk To A podcast. So I'm wearing a shirt that says Hawk To A, spit on that thang. I got thang underlined on here. I got the wig. I got the cowboy hat on. I'm just a big fan of hers. I just think that she's funny. I've been watching more clips of hers. She's great.
What's the appeal, man? Sell me.
She's funny. I mean, you have to watch her for yourself. I can't do it justice. I can't talk about, like, I can't explain her comedy for you and have it work. She's got natural good comedic timing. She tells good stories. Her boyfriend Pookie, the whole thing.
She got a boyfriend named Pookie.
Pookie. Yep.
That's his like nickname.
I choose to believe his name is actually Pookie.
Oh, I say, okay. All right. Send me your best Hawk Tuah clip.
Okay, well,
BT.
you know who would have cut it together is Avery, former producer of Macrodosing.
Yeah.
He worked for her?
He's
Yeah.
her producer, yeah.
Say word.
world.
Shout out to Avery, man. Hope you're doing well, brother.
Shout out Avery. I feel bad for Avery, not because he's working with Ms. Haley Welsh, who I think is a star, but because he's so far away from the New York Rangers.
Yeah.
I think he lives in Puerto Rico now. I think that's where they do the podcast. And
Puerto Rico.
that is so far away. Big T, I don't want you to hear you make any disparaging comments about
Right.
our Puerto Rican listeners.
Well, if you knew, we love Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Puerto Rico.
I think Avery is going through it right now. If he had been in New York, I don't think that the Capitals would have beaten the Rangers. Send this to Avery. Tag Avery in this because he will get honestly pissed off.
You know what their
that he
tweet
missed
was
that
after
game.
the game last night, the Caps?
What?
They brought the boom.
They did bring the boom.
Yep.
Washington Caps are good, man. People slept on them going into this season. Ovi's looking fast, scored a couple goals last night. Tom Wilson playing well. Yeah, Caps might be back.
Who's your favorite Costco guy? I'll include the Rizzler.
My favorite Costco guy. So I have 3 to choose from.
Wait, what's the Costco guy?
So there's AJ, the dad. Then there's
This is what he's known for, the Costco guy?
yeah, if you're not familiar with the Costco guys, you gotta look them up. So there's AJ, Big Justice, and the Rizzler are the 3 main guys in the Costco guys universe. There is also, however, mother of Big Justice. Ashley is the
Mama Justice.
the daughter. Well, they're trying to so she was mother of Big Justice. They're currently trying to rebrand her to Mama Big Justice, but I prefer mother of. And then there's a couple other extenuating characters.
What's the Costco?
So
where
these
does Costco
guys
come into play?
fucking love Costco. They're addicted to Costco. And they started filming reviews of everything in Costco, most notably the double chunk chocolate cookie and the chicken bake, which is Big Justice's favorite. And now they're the Costco guys, and they're fucking huge. They were on the Tonight Show the other night, bringing the boom. Boom!
Oh my God. Okay.
Your kids know the Costco guys.
I promise you they do not.
One of them does, for sure.
They're all grounded if they do.
I guarantee at least one of them knows the Costco
If
guys.
one of them
I'm gonna
knows,
text her
they're all
right now.
grounded.
She in school. I hope I'm gonna say, do you know who the Costco guys is? We'll get back to you.
I think I'm a Rizzler guy.
Same.
I mean,
There is
he's
no other option.
when I give your girl the Riz face, there's no chance she's coming back.
It's pretty good.
I hate all of them equally.
They were on the Tonight Show and they were sitting next to each other, and then memes tweeted out like, "Gonna tell my kids this was part of my take," and then they put the faces, and I was the Rizzler.
The Rizzler's feet
Not
barely
because he was
getting
short.
off the
It
chair.
didn't have anything to do with him being short.
Yeah, no, that's a compliment.
Yeah,
I mean, he's electric.
he is electric. Yeah, and then Mad Dog, what are you?
I'm a horse.
Okay, just a generic horse,
Yeah, nothing else to it.
a police horse.
No,
racehorse?
but I did wear this last year. This was my costume last year, and there is a picture of me in front of a police horse in the costume. But I am not trying to replicate.
Stealing Valor,
Stealing Valor. I'm just
Okay.
a horse.
and then Mackenzie.
I am Lola Bunny from Space Jam.
Got it.
Hey, Lola
La, la,
Bunny.
la,
Okay.
Lola. We're looking good.
We did go for it.
In the Spirit. I went to Spirit Halloween yesterday. That's an interesting company, isn't it?
Yeah, how is that a sustainable?
They just take over empty storefronts, and then they just get the fuck out of there after Halloween.
I know, but like, how are they operating the rest of the year?
I think they've got a giant warehouse, and it's probably got like 6,000 massive skeletons in it, and then just a bunch of cardboard boxes of costumes, and then they just take all the stuff back to their warehouse. And then October 1st, they're like, all right, time to take over the downtown areas of every city in America again.
What time were you there yesterday?
I was at Spirit Halloween at around 3:30 or 4.
Oh, I was at a Spirit Halloween close to where you live very shortly after you.
Oh, yeah, we almost ran into
Probably
each other.
the same one.
I just walked in and I saw the Hawk Tuah spit on that thing shirt, and I was like, okay, well, that was an easy trip. Got it. Decision made.
Are you gonna wear that when like kids come to your house and trick or treat?
I am not. I'm not, because I'm actually not going to be in Chicago for Halloween evening. Going to New York
Right.
because we're going to practice with Pup Punk, and then we're going to play at Toad's Place in New Haven on Friday night, November 1st. So I will not be at my house, unfortunately. Putting out a big-ass dish of candy. Please take one. We'll see how that goes.
Does Blake still get to be Willie Nelson?
Blake was going to go to a dog Halloween costume party.
That's how I got in
It,
trouble.
it was going to be a costume contest. It was going to be early Sunday morning.
Oh, Arian hates that.
Yeah, and Blake did not behave himself at the dog park, and he was a bad listener, and he knows that. So if he's listening right now, he's been better recently, but he had a bad showing on Sunday morning. Tried to run out of the dog park to go after another dog that was walking down the sidewalk and play with that dog, and then did not listen when I said, Blake, you come back. You come back right now. So, yeah, Blake was on punishment on Sunday. So, unfortunately, listen, it's just like if you're, Jameson Williams is going through something right now in Detroit, right? Dan Campbell said, we're going to leave the rope down for you. We'll help pull you back up, but you fell behind. You fell off the rope a little bit. So we're going to handle it in-house, though. I don't want to comment on the conversations I've had with Blake. Those are private, and they're going to remain private. But he knows what he has to do in terms of accountability to make himself a valuable member of this team again. And we're going to be waiting for him. We're going to support him. I will not make any other comments at this time.
Thank you.
But yeah, it's Halloween. You guys going to any parties this weekend?
Nah.
Maybe.
No parties,
Yeah,
Arian?
Nah, I got my little ones. I might throw a party, though.
Ooh.
I like that.
I might be lit, actually. Yeah, I might do that. Good call.
The witch's hair and the witch's eyeballs. You going to do that thing?
I don't know what that is. What is this?
You make every kid close their eyes, and then you pass around a bowl, and you tell a spooky story about how there was a witch that used to live here and she died, and these are her eyeballs. And then you've got like skinned peeled grapes that are all slimy, and you make them feel the eyeballs. And then you got like spaghetti, and you're like, this was her hair, and you pass that around.
Never heard of that one, but it's also problematic because there was a woman that died here. So,
Do your kids know that?
Yeah.
What do they think?
well, the oldest one, she knows.
Oh, she definitely told the youngest ones too.
Probably. Yeah, more than likely.
So mean.
Yeah, like just to scare them sometime.
I better sit down before old Karen come back and haunt y'all dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Karen come back and call the police on you.
I want to know more about Spirit Halloween, though. I'm fascinated by their business model. Like, how did they get started? How big are they? How much money do they bring in? Who's their CEO? Oh, this is okay. So I'm looking it up right now. They're owned by Spencer Gifts.
Oh, wow.
This makes sense.
That does make sense. So I think they probably take some of the slutty costumes and they just ship them over from Spencer Gifts to Spirit Halloween.
So they're a ghost kitchen.
They're a ghost. Yeah, they are a ghost kitchen.
Yeah.
I did notice that, though. So as I'm walking through the store shopping for my costume, it's like all the female costumes is just like, promiscuous versions of regular shit.
Yep.
And it's like, women, how do we feel about this?
Open-ended question to women.
yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely y'all. I was talking about y'all. 'Cause the closest women in proximity to me right now.
Thank you.
I don't really care. I think like dress up as whatever you want for Halloween. I personally love Halloween, like dressing up. Like it's the one time you can dress up like not slutty and it's like fun and funny. You don't have to like make an effort. So I've always tried to go that route.
Same. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're watching this on YouTube, I don't think this is the most seductive look I've ever gone with.
I mean, maybe to some people, you never know.
Right, freaks. But I am on Mackenzie's train. I don't know the last time I dressed as a woman for Halloween, let alone a slutty one.
Yeah.
I like dressing as different men as much as I can. I think it's funny. But I am all for, if you want to slut it up on Halloween,
Right.
be my guest.
Right.
You know?
I agree.
Like, literally, it's the Mean Girls line. Halloween is the one time a year you can dress up like a total slut and no one can say anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Do it. If you want to do it, do it. Especially if you're in college. Like, that's so fun.
Yes.
Now that I'm like 25, it feels like it just feels a bit odd just dressing up in general as I sit here in my horse costume, but
Oh no, I'm 38.
Don't get on
we out
big
here.
T's.
Right.
Side here.
We do this, baby. We do this.
right. I think it's different. I think like you have a different appreciation for it now too, though, because you're like a dad.
Yeah, I mean, I was always like this. Like, I appreciate the holidays. There was a point in time where I didn't fuck with Christmas. I was younger, but I don't know. There's so much. I'm a pessimist, so like, there's so little joy in the world. Like when you have an opportunity to like celebrate, everybody can kind of, you know what I'm saying, put everything
true.
aside and just like be happy together on some silly shit. I'm with it. I don't fuck what it is.
That's
I'm with
nice.
it. Except for that big justice shit. Fuck out of here with that shit.
I'm AJ, so.
Whatever.
What do you guys think the revenue of Spirit Halloween is? Yearly revenue.
I'm gonna go with annually they pull in they shit in every city. So I'm gonna go 100 M's.
I was
I was gonna say $78 million.
You guys are way off.
Oh.
Way off. And also, this doesn't take into account that this year they're doing a Spirit Christmas. So they're going to have Christmas stores.
Oh, I can't wait for that. I'm getting fucking jiggy for Christmas, dog.
They brought in $1.86 billion in
yo,
2023.
That's great.
Hang on.
Yeah.
You know what? So as I bought my costume and it was protocol, they just vote and everybody said every time somebody came out, they say, I just want to let you know all sales are final. That's where they get you right there.
You are wrong. That
Okay.
is Spencer Spirit Holdings, the entire company.
Okay.
So that's Spencer's the whole year. That's not Spirit Halloween.
Got it. Okay.
I'm seeing 400 million.
That was in 2015.
for Spirit Halloween.
That was 2015. That was almost 10 years ago.
But that's what you're quoting is the whole combined company.
The Spencer Spirit Holdings?
Yeah.
Does that include Spencer Gifts?
That's what I'm reading.
Okay, then my projection is going to be 700 million.
The firm estimates the combined businesses known as Spencer Spirit Holdings brought in 1.8 billion in 2023. There's no chance.
Now I'm reading 1.1 billion. They make a ton of money.
I mean,
man.
it's still a lot, however much it is.
As they should.
Yeah, they take over these storefronts. Why isn't the business online? I feel like Spirit Halloween could be an online business. Do they even have changing rooms and
Maybe
dressing
it
rooms?
creates artificial demand.
Maybe. And I do know that they have some of the like more fancy costumes, like the next level ones that are over $100 that you pay for. You probably want to try those on. But the ones that you get in the weird plastic bags,
Yeah.
always smell kind of funny. Those you could do that online. That could have been an email. But yeah, shout out Spirit Halloween. They did it. They did it again.
They did it again.
Big T sent over a list of topics this morning. One was very interesting to me in particular. Russia is suing Google. The nation of Russia is suing Google, and they are suing them for an amount of money that I've never heard of before. They're fining them. Excuse me, they're not suing them. A Russian court has actually ruled that Google has to pay $20 decillion in fines for blocking their content, and the fines could get bigger.
Wait, hold on, man. What? Decillion?
Yeah.
So it would go million, billion,
Yep.
trillion, quadrillion, quintillion, sextillion. I don't know how that would work.
Sicilian, septillion,
Septillion,
octillion,
octillion,
nine tillion,
it's nana is the nonanillion. I don't know how that one would be.
nonillion.
And then decillion.
So that would be 20 with 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33. That's 20 with 33 zeros after it. And so
Okay.
if you're wondering, that sounds like a lot of money. Yeah, the global GDP is around $100 trillion.
Well, see, that's what I just looked at. It says, according to the U.S. Global Wealth Report in 2023, the total net private wealth, so this net, stood at 454.4 trillion at the end of 2022. So that's how much money is in the world.
Yeah, this is probably more money than has ever existed.
That shit is so funny. It's fucking Dr. Evil head ass over there just
So
Oh my
what
God.
happened was YouTube banned a Russian YouTube channel. It was called Sargrad in 2020 in response to the U.S. sanctions imposed over its owner. This was right when like the new invasion of Ukraine was going on. Following Putin's illegal invasion of Ukraine in 2022, more channels were added to the banned list. 17 stations are now suing the chocolate factory, including Zvezda, a TV channel owned by Putin's Ministry of Defense. Google was called by a Russian court to administrative liability under Article 13.41 of the Administrative Offenses Code for removing channels on the YouTube platform. And then the court imposed a fine of 100,000 rubles per day, which is $1,025 per day, with the total fine doubling every week. That's how it got up that high. So the fine doubles every week. And so now Google is on the hook for that. And so, yeah, I guess Google is pretty much bankrupt, but not really, because they're just not. They're going to say, come collect.
So the Russian court found them guilty, so they have to pay that in. So I assume no Google products can be used in Russia then? I mean, is that the end goal here?
I don't know. I don't know what it's like, what's banned in Russia. I think that if you're going to ban a website, that comes from like your side. That comes from the government. So like in China, you can't use Google. You can't use X.com, the Everything app. You can't use Facebook, all this stuff. That's because the government bans it, not because Google doesn't allow their product to be used there.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, this is just an insane amount of money, and I don't know if this is anchoring in the negotiation where they're like, we think that if we just ask for an insane amount of money, maybe they'll end up settling for $100 million. I don't know.
Oh, okay. So Google in Russia has been inactive since 2022. Okay. After they pulled out of the country following Putin's special military operation.
Special military operation.
That's what the register.com said.
Mm-hmm. Special military operation is slang for war.
Special military operation, baby.
It's like when we labeled like enemy soldiers enemy combatants back in 2004, because that meant that we could like torture them.
Insurgents too.
Yeah, insurgents. But enemy combatants was the phrase that Rumsfeld, like one day he came out to a press conference and the reporters were asking questions about like enemy soldiers. He's like, whoa, what's all this soldier stuff? They're enemy combatants. We're treating them as enemy combatants, not as soldiers, because under soldiers they have rights in the Geneva Convention and the rules of war. But enemy combatants, bitch, you're going to Guantanamo and you're probably not getting out.
It's like the NCAA. They said, well, we don't pay them because they're amateurs, and they're amateurs because we don't pay them.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder how many people do you think are still in Guantanamo Bay right now?
Off the top, 100.
You think? Yeah,
That's what I was gonna say as well.
I don't think it's more than like 500. I don't know how many there are, but
I have the population.
Of Guantanamo Bay prison?
Yes.
What is it?
30.
Oh, there's only 30?
As of 2024, July 2024.
And they're never getting out.
No.
They're never getting out. It's like you're going to send them back now and just be like, my bad?
It says most of these men were never charged with the crime and many of them were tortured.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like if they release them, then you're also like sending them back into the free world where they can hire a lawyer.
Do you have the list?
I can find it.
Because, like, that makes it sound bad, never charged with a crime and all this. But, like, I have to imagine if we only have 30 people there, those are some pretty bad dudes.
Well, one of them was one of the guys that helped us get to bin Laden. He was like a bin Laden associate courier type guy, and then we just burned him. And
Okay.
We sent him there.
I have the list.
Or I think we thought he was, if I'm remembering my bin Laden lore correctly, there was a guy that we said was in charge of training Al-Qaeda and like one of bin Laden's top guys. And he operated like his own like off-brand terrorist training camp. I think it was in Pakistan, maybe Afghanistan. It might have been Afghanistan. And he had like the monkey bars set up and the hopscotch thing with the ropes and all that thing. but he was not actually in Al Qaeda. He was just like training terror. Like you could come and train at his facility, which is just a hilarious job to have. But he ended up flipping on bin Laden and gave us information about how to get to him, where he was holed up. And then we still just arrested him, sent him to Guantanamo after torturing him 1,000,000 times. And he's just never getting out.
Held in law of war detention, but recommended for transfer. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, but where are we going to transfer him to?
Exactly.
There were a couple guys in there that we ended up trying for, maybe just one guy that we ended up trying for actually 9/11. And we brought him to the United States. I think he went to trial in Manhattan. There's a big uproar about that. Like, why are you bringing this guy onto U.S. soil to try him?
Yeah, so not all of them on this list, I mean, this is from Wikipedia, not all of them have the reason for being, like, their specific reasons. Like, there's 16 that are held in law of war detention but recommended for transfer. 3 of them are held in indefinite law of war detention and not recommended for transfer. And then some of them are charged in military commission systems. And then there are only 4 that are convicted of military commission systems. So out of 30, 4 of them are like convicted.
Yeah, so out of those guys, 4 have convictions. The rest have just kind of been held there.
Yeah.
So if we let them out, then they hire a lawyer and they're like, hey, I was held for, would that be now?
Most of them have been there since actually all of them have been there since the early 2000s.
It's like 22 years without being charged.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they're good guys. I'm not saying that they weren't like terrorists or that they weren't, guilty of something, but you have to be able to hold somebody for a reason. And if you can't articulate that reason, then you can't imprison them for 22 years. Pretty simple stuff.
Yeah. 2 of them are the ones that have been convicted. 1 of them is from Yemen, 2 are from Malaysia, 1 is from Iraq. 1 of them is conspiring with Al Qaeda. And then I don't know what that one necessarily did. These other ones say they reached secret plea agreements.
Okay.
But they're still there. So I'm not quite sure. And then some of them reached plea agreements that were like 10 years or whatever. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. The only one that is clear here is the one was convicted for conspiring with Al Qaeda. And he's from Yemen.
All right.
But yeah, no, these boys locked up.
They locked up.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Big T, what else we got that we want to get into today before we talk about the Zodiac Killer?
I saw a video of one of these haunted houses that people, like, they're going to these things and signing waivers saying you can torture me and all this shit. This one, I guess it's called 17 rooms, and there are obviously 17 rooms you go in. And, like, one, they put your arms, like, in an inflatable thing where you can't move, and they put tarantulas on your face, and they have people, they put you in they seal you in a bag, basically, where you can't breathe for 2 minutes and all this crazy shit. If you go to one of those, I don't know, man. Those people need to be put on a list.
Pre-crime?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never been a haunted house guy.
Me neither. But obviously there's a difference in a regular haunted house where people jump out at you and scare you in this kind of thing.
Yeah, this is just like you get off on this stuff.
Yeah, thrill-seeking.
This gets a big doom from me.
That's a doom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't kink shame, man.
If you like it, you like it.
It's for you. It's for you, dogs.
Do you guys like scary movies?
No.
So, like, scary, no, but, like, thriller, yes.
Yeah. Do you get scared by scary movies?
Terrified.
You do?
I just be jumping. You know what I'm saying? It's the oh shit, nigga popped up out of, you know what I mean? One of those. But it's not like I don't go to sleep thinking like there's somebody in the backyard and shit.
I couldn't finish The Black Knight.
It's too scary?
Yeah.
I don't know what the black.
Wait, do you mean The Dark Knight?
Dark Knight, sorry.
Oh, what?
Sorry.
It's not a scary movie.
Yeah, no, I couldn't finish The Dark Knight. It was too scary. I don't like the Joker. He scares me.
One of the greatest role plays of all time, man.
Too scary.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Had to turn it off halfway through.
Yeah, I've just never gotten scared by scary movies. I don't understand like why people like them and get scared by them. I guess it's just not for everybody.
Like you mean scared? Like you ain't never jumped in a movie? Like oh shit.
I think I've been surprised in a movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, the same.
I've been surprised, but when I tell people that they're like, you're a pussy, you get scared. It's like, no, that's the thing. It's like, I think I would like to get scared by a scary movie, but it just doesn't hit. Recommend me your best scary movies, your scariest scary movies, because I will try to watch them.
The problem I have with them is that they can all be easily, all the situations that they get into in scary movies can easily be avoided. And so I just end up cussing the main characters out half of the time. I was like, what the fuck are you? Why would you go in there? Why would you go in there? What are you doing? So it ends up being one of those things.
Is it a Geico commercial that's on? It's been on for a while where they're in a scary movie and they're like, let's hide behind the chainsaws. And then one of the women says, why don't we get in the running car?
Yeah. Shit like that. And so it's just like, it's not that scary because it's like, come on, fam. The one movie, and I was a little younger though, but that was Fire that I actually enjoyed. I think the last scary movie I actually enjoyed was the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah.
You remember that? Remember when it came out?
Yeah, I do.
The thing was, we didn't know if it was real or not. And that was really before the internet was really hitting like that. So there was a bunch of rumors on if it was real or not. And it was filmed with, regular camcorders. And what a low budget film that did crazy numbers.
Yeah. Yeah, it was they did a great job marketing it because leading up to it they bought a website that looked like it was made by like an amateur that said like all the details of the story of these hikers that went missing in Maryland, and then they had like some found footage and stuff from them, and they did a good job blurring the line of is this real or is it fake, and so then people went to go see it and they thought maybe it's real. It was a good job. It was a good job. I don't think you could get away with that now.
Nah, you can't get away with anything now. Just like, alluding to what the topic of the show is like shit like that can't pop off these days. I mean, I'm glad it won't, but I'm just saying, like.
I went to go see it with a friend of mine who lived in the neighborhood, and she was a good-looking lady, and we had a good time at the movie. And then later on that night, I went back to my house. I went to bed, and then in the middle of the night, she came over and knocked on my window and wanted to come inside and hang out, which was awesome, except for the fact that she didn't know which window was mine, and she knocked on my parents' window, and they were like, "Get out of here, go home." And then they were like, "I don't like the idea of you spending time with this girl anymore." That was bad. That was bad.
Wrong window.
She was so scared.
How old?
She was my age.
Well, how old?
Let's see. I was probably in middle school. I was probably in 8th grade.
That's a bold little jump right there.
Yeah. I don't know what I would have done. I'd have been like, okay, do you want to come in and read comic books?
Yeah, you got a kid. Maybe snuggled. Maybe just snuck in a peck or two.
Yeah, man. I would have pecked all night.
I'm like, I like her. She got a lot of ambition.
She did. Yeah, she had a lot of ambition. That's one way to put it, for sure.
I wonder what she's doing now. What she's up to? Like CEO of some company.
Probably. Shout out her. Big T, what else we got today?
There was one more thing, which was the Yankees guy.
Oh, the Yankees guy. Yeah, both those guys.
Gronk's friend from college.
That was an awesome reveal. That Gronk's like, that's my buddy from college. He was a wild man back then. He's a wild man now. This is awesome. Good stuff. You shouldn't do that at a baseball game, but those guys were awesome. The guy that was trying to open up Mookie Betts' glove, that was very funny. He was just sitting there with a big smile on his face, trying to open it up, and then he was like trying to argue with the ump. Like he came into my seat.
Which did kind of happen. Now, shouldn't have been prying his glove open, but, I mean, he was in the stands.
Bad sportsmanship by the letter of the law. I don't know. What does the rule book say? Can you look that up for me, Big T?
Well, the rule book for fan interference is if you go into the stands, the fans have a right to try to catch the ball.
But they
don't have a right to try to correct. You can't reach into the field of play.
That's what Jeffrey Mayer did.
Right. Now, I don't know about once a player's in the stands, can you hold his glove hostage and pry the ball out? I suppose not.
Yeah.
But
you shouldn't. It's
like,
frowned
what if
upon.
Cuz got hurt? What if Cuz, like, you know what I mean? Like, what if he bent his wrist? Because he was prying the shit out of it.
Then it would have been bad.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why you shouldn't do it.
That shit was weirdo behavior, bro. That shit is weird as fuck.
So you remember the Jeffrey Mayer thing, right?
No, who's that?
So this is back in the mid-'90s. The Orioles were playing against the Yankees in the playoffs, and they hit a deep fly ball to right field. Tony Tarasco was playing right field for the Orioles. He goes back to the warning track to make a catch. He's standing like back pretty much against the wall, reaches up. He's not like jumping off of his feet or anything, just reaches up to make a catch. And a fan reached over the edge, caught the ball right in front of his glove. And the umpire, I guess, didn't have a good angle on it and said that it was a home run and gave him a home run instead of what would have been an out. The Yankees go on to win that series. Orioles fans have never forgiven the Yankees for that and that kid, Jeffrey Mayer. And George Steinbrenner, I think he gave him like tickets to every other game in that series. He hooked him up. It was like, good job, kid. You did a great job. And yeah, that kid has been hated by the city of Baltimore ever since then.
Yeah, I don't think that's his. I just looked it up. This is nowhere near like this. What this is?
No, it's different. It's different. That one, the ball was in the field of play.
Yeah, I feel like that's to me part of baseball. It is what it is.
But it's also
because the rule
that should have been an out though. I'm not saying that the kid did anything malicious. He was trying to catch a fly ball. He was like 13 at the time.
Exactly.
Yeah. No problem. Like in terms of sportsmanship or whatever. He's just an excited kid that's trying to catch a fly ball. But the fact that it was ruled a home run instead of an automatic out for interference, that's pissed off Baltimore fans for the last like 30 years.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, you can't be mad at a little kid for doing that. It's low key. What an athlete. You know what I mean? Like
Good catch.
That reflex. That's some athletic shit. This shit is weird.
Yeah, you don't think that the guy should have tried to pry open his glove like they were getting into a Ziploc bag?
Some of the angles, bro. Some of the angles is weird. So I'm looking at it. My man's. It wasn't that he just probably was. He grabbed his hand with the glove and like pulled it to center him.
Yeah,
and then pulled it towards him and then opened it. Like that's some weirdo. Like he had to be faded. He had to be.
Should have pulled his glove clean off and just taken off with the glove.
I mean, at this point,
probably would have been safer. Yeah, and then his friend or his brother actually reached over, and his brother was wearing a sliding mitt, which is awesome.
That was insane.
Can you guys walk me through like why do you wear a sliding mitt to a game?
That's the first I've ever seen of that.
I think we're gonna see a lot more of it though.
Oh wait, his brother. Okay, so this is even weirder. Like this angle right here. His brother. So like, Buddy pulls his glove and then pulls it towards himself, and then Mookie goes to like use his other hand to try to like break it up, and his brother grabs Mookie's hand.
Yeah, the other guy grabbed his other wrist.
Like, what the fuck is up with these? That's crazy work, bro. These dudes is weirdos. That's wild.
So it turns out that the media found these guys. They got their names. They're the Capobianco brothers.
Capobianco, bro. They definitely from like New York, like one of them. Yeah.
So
what the fuck out of here kind of guys.
Austin Capobianco. Turns out he follows me on X.com, the everything app, and his last tweet was replying to a tweet of mine that said, "White boy summer is so back."
That's so classic.
And it was before the Euro tournament, the Euro soccer tournament, and there was like a live news broadcast in Germany, and then this one dude like pulls down his buddy's pants to flash his like full hog at the camera, and I said, "White boy summer is so back," and Austin Capobianco replied, cry face, what a wrench." That was the last that we've heard of him online until last night when he committed fan interference by trying to rip Mookie Betts' glove off.
And he was the main guy?
I think this is the main guy. Yeah, the guy that had the glove in his hands.
Gronk's buddy.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, that's what I'm told. And Mackenzie, you were at the game?
Yes, I was.
What was that like in that moment?
It was insane. I was sitting like behind them, like up a level, so I could not see what happened. Like none of us could see what happened in our section, and they like were not showing it on the Jumbotron, so we had no idea. And then I went on my phone and I saw it on Twitter, so like I didn't even know what was happening in the game. I just thought the guy like caught it, but like before I went on X, I should say, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
It's all happening.
Yeah, we had no idea like what was going on and during the actual play.
Did you see them when they were getting kicked out?
We heard we could hear the like uproar of it happening, but I couldn't like see them getting kicked out because they were like right down to the right of us.
Has anybody interviewed him?
I don't think so yet. I saw something on X about ESPN maybe.
He about to turn into a little media darling. Watch, I guarantee you.
He'll be the next Hawk Tua.
I know that they got
horrible.
They got a couple quotes from those guys, and they were talking about how like Mookie was cussing at them.
As he should.
Sure. Yeah. This is like the reason people hate Yankee fans, like because of guys like this.
Yeah, but it's also like
it's hysterical.
It's also like the
objectively.
perfect ideal of a Yankees fan. This is like the Yankees fan that everyone pictures, and because it's like so spot on,
yes,
it's kind of endearing in that weird way.
Yes,
like you shouldn't do it. It's not a good thing, but I can still laugh at it and be like, these guys are funny.
Yeah, it's very funny.
It's a wild like. It's like it's just like at the moment of grabbing another man's hands, prying a glove on. I can't put myself in that mindset. Like, what are we thinking there? What's going through our brain?
Just no shame in the guy's game either. Immediately, like big smile on his face. I think that's what did it for me, was how happy the guy was while he was trying to open the glove. If he had a mean face on, or if he was like trying to be like, I don't know, like careful about it, or try to make it seem like he wasn't doing it on purpose, that'd be one thing. But the guy just no shame at all, just big smile. Yeah, I'm taking his glove. I'm taking this guy's glove. He was ready for that.
Would you rather get to watch the Yankees win a World Series game that you paid, I don't know, $2,500 or whatever for that ticket, or become a media sensation?
I would say I would rather do what this guy did, because you might have won that game. Like the whole game turned around after that.
That was the first inning.
I thought the Dodgers were up.
They were.
Yeah, they were up 2-0.
Right, but
the game turned around.
It was the first inning.
He got the crowd going. Aaron Judge saw that, and he's like, I'm going to get a hit tonight.
Oh my God.
It inspired him.
Maybe.
But so Mackenzie, where are you at right now with the Yankees?
I honestly like just had the best time. I took my dad, and like he was so excited. So at this point, like nothing can take that experience away from me.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy that I went and was able to like take my dad to the game, and like last night's game was just so exciting. So I'm hoping they bring the momentum into tomorrow, but obviously it's a long way to come back from. But
tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you hate Yankee fans and you think like they're all pieces of shit and they're all scummy and these guys represent everything about the Yankees, also remember that Mackenzie's a Yankees fan.
Yes, you're being mean to me too.
You're probably the farthest from these guys that any human being on the planet could possibly be.
I know. I was like saying the other day, I'm like, people hate the Yankees, I think, more than they like their own team sometimes. Like they just like portray so much hate, and I'm like, I totally get it, because I like there was people outside and you just know it was going to be a viral TikTok, like camera in their face, and they're like banging their chest like, wait, game 7 week. I'm like, this is why everybody hates Yankee fans. Like, I get it. Like, I agree with you. I also hate those people that are like that. But yeah.
Do you have like a little bit of that in you somewhere?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think so. Once it's becoming like now, I've kind of been like getting after people a little bit.
So tell me why Yankees are the best. Like really talk shit.
Oh gosh, no, I can't honestly.
No, the floor is yours. Talk shit. Represent your team.
No, the one thing that's like pissing me off is the Aaron Judge hate, because like it's not great, but like he also played very well in the regular season. So like, why is everyone hating him? And all the haters are like, oh, Yankee fans should boo him, blah, 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 like, blah, blah. He, like, people stood up every time he got into the batter's box last night when I was at the game. So it's like Yankee fans don't despise Aaron Judge. Like, obviously not happy that he's not doing great, but
he does have a lower batting average this postseason than Lou Gehrig had in 1939 when he had ALS.
Oh no!
Right, but what about the regular season? Like, how'd they get there? They had to get to the playoffs. You don't sound
like a Yankee fan right now. That's not.
I was just pointing out. I just found that interesting.
Yankee fans caring about the regular season. This is sad. How far this franchise has fallen.
I know. I can't even.
And you got 27 rings. Count them.
Count them.
Yeah.
Yeah, just remember if you're enjoying the Yankees losing, you're making Mackenzie very sad.
Yeah. I can't even talk shit. I'm trying to even think of something, and I just simply can't.
Hey, can't win 4 without winning 1.
No, exactly. And somebody said it last night. They won 4 games to start the season this year, so they've done it
wow.
before.
What's the count? What's the count at?
3-1.
3-1 Dodgers.
Oh, they're gonna have to LeBron that thing. I don't know, man.
Or
No, it's
Cubs.
not great.
Well, it was 3-0,
Yeah.
which
then-
the only time any team in baseball history has ever come back from 3-0 was the Red Sox in 2004 against the Yankees.
Twist of fate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
You're-
at that
it's your
game
FIFA
7
pitch.
Were you seriously?
in New York City. Yeah.
You were?
I was out there. Yeah, I got caught up. I was excited for the Red Sox, and I hated the Yankees, and I wanted to see baseball history. So I spent like all my money when I was in college.
I was gonna say.
Tickets weren't that expensive. I want to say they were $150, $200. Still a lot of money when you're in college. I basically spent all my semester's food money to make that trip up there, and I started smoking a black and mild in like the 6th inning, 7th inning victory cigar.
Because they like blew them out in Game 7.
Game 7 wasn't close.
Yeah.
In fact, I think I missed the first home run. I think I missed the top of the first inning in that game. I saw the other one. I think Damon went yard in the
I believe
first.
he had a grand slam in that game.
Yeah, Damon went yard in the first, I think, and I forget who hit the second home run. I was pretty torn up at the time. But yeah, it was a fun night. There was guys running around the concourse dressed as Babe Ruth's ghost. It's fun.
Did you drive there or fly there?
Drove up there.
Just on a whim?
Just on a whim, yeah. That's the kind of stuff you do in college, though. You're like, you want to go to this insanely important sport event?
I mean, that is cool that you went
we don't
to
have
that.
a connection to.
Yeah, you're
sure.
not a fan of either team.
Yeah, sure. Let's go up and check it out. Let's be a part of history.
When I went to Game 5 of the World Series in 2021, I didn't know I was going till the day of the game, so I was flying up there like 3 hours before the game started, and the guys that were next to me on the plane, I was obviously wearing all my Braves stuff, and they were like, "You're going to the game?" And I was like, "Yeah." They said, "Yeah, us too." I was like, "Oh, are you Braves fans, Astros fans?" They were like, "No, we just decided today like we should go
Yeah.
from New York." And then we all got in an Uber together and went straight to the stadium.
It's when you love ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a true fan.
Keep in touch with those guys.
Never spoke to him again. Good guys,
Love
though.
that. Love
Great
that.
guys.
That's the dude equivalent of a platonic one night stand. When you go to like 3 bars with just a dude or some dudes that you're vibing with that night, you're like, we're having fun together. Let's keep this going. And then it's understood. We're not going to ever talk about this. We're not going to tell our other friends back home that we did this.
What did Ron Swanson say? I used to have a guy. He was my best friend. We still never talk sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Brokeback City.
There you go. Let's see, Arian, you got anything else you want to get into before we start talking Zodiac?
My daughter texted me back. She said, "Yes, I've heard of them."
Yep.
Told you.
Told her she's grounded.
She's like, "What's happening?"
And she's like, "What? Why?" I was
Bro,
like,
these guys
"She's
were on the
grounded."
Tonight Show.
Yeah.
Like, they're
It's insane.
big deal. Boom!
No, they're not a big deal.
They're a big deal and they're big justice.
It's a double chunk chocolate cookie.
I can't believe people find that entertaining. It's like I feel crazy that people find that shit entertaining.
So here's the thing.
Wild to me.
Here's the thing. It's so ridiculous that it is funny. If it was a little bit less ridiculous, it wouldn't be funny at all. But it crossed the threshold to the point that it is actually funny.
I mean, I wish I could laugh. It's just not funny to me. It's just not.
Yeah, you wouldn't get it. You're not a Costco guy. That's fine. You're a Sam's Club guy. And that's okay.
I'm not either. Honestly,
Those are out
but
there. You don't get the vibe.
Honestly, I order my groceries.
I think you need to watch more of them.
I don't think that is ever going to happen.
They're going to grow on you.
And I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. I promise you, I'm never going to watch some niggas. Promise you.
They were in our office.
Yeah, they were here.
Mama Justice, too.
They did the gauntlet like you did.
What was the times? Now that'll impress me. What was the time?
Big Justice got like 2.5 minutes or something.
No.
Or 3.5
No,
minutes?
he did
All
not.
right, killed that shit.
It was not 2.5 minutes.
I think he had a home run on the first try, right?
I'll see if I can
He
find it.
probably did.
Wait, I can text TJ.
I did too.
There were accusations that
They didn't beat you, I'll tell you that much.
there are accusations Jake Malasek might have let him score.
Yeah. Yep.
See, I can't even trust
That was true, yeah.
that goalie,
Asterisks.
man. I ran through that shit and struggled on the only sport that I actually play, basketball. Took me like 5 shots, bro. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Arian Foster, known basketball player.
I mean, everybody that know me know I can hoop. Don't get it twisted, Maddie back there.
If you could have played in the NFL or NBA, which would you pick?
NBA.
Oh, I mean, is that a question?
Guaranteed
If
contracts.
same amount of money.
No CTE.
NBA, bro. What are we talking about?
Is
Bro,
that
NFL. So when I was growing up, like I would have focused on the NBA, but it was just I was so much better than everybody else at football. It was like, okay, this is the way, you know. So it was like imagine you going to Little League and there's some dude he scores 4 or 5 touchdowns every game. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, all right, you kind of nice at this, right? And then, but like I was also nice at basketball. But it was just like the discrepancy in which I was better than my peers was just night and day with football versus basketball. But I mean, I could play. But not only that, so to answer your question, basketball, there's nothing better about the NFL than basketball other than like people like watching the NFL probably more the regular season. That's probably the only benefit. But
There are
even
too many
you don't
games in
even-
basketball.
Huh?
Too many games.
That's what I'm saying. So like there's a surplus of games, so you know people don't feel as inclined to watch all the games like that. By the way, my Lakers are 3-0. Shout out to them. But yeah, that like there's just like in heightened like it feels important and it feels, but like at the end of the day, like you don't get nowhere near the notoriety. You don't get nowhere near the money. It's nowhere near as hard on your body as football. And so there's no plus of playing in the NFL over the NBA, except if you're a quarterback, because you don't ever get hit. You play an entirely different game, and people love the shit out of you or hate the shit out of you.
Well, I think just playing that many games would be tough. Like from the player perspective, the season it's a grind.
Well, none of
so-
them do anymore.
Well, I mean, they sit out occasionally, but you still end up playing. Even if you're doing like hella load management, you're probably playing what 70 games.
Okay, but if
it's
you're playing
still basketball though, you know what I mean?
right, if you're
Like,
playing 70 basketball games with practices thrown in here and there, I mean, football you're still playing for 4 months and you're playing 6 days a week. You're just not playing games. Like
That's
obviously
true.
practice isn't like crazy contact, but it's still football.
Aaron, are you,
but it's also on Sundays, you're in, I don't know, 20, 30 car wrecks. You know what I mean? Like it hurts, dog. Like it hurts. Whereas basketball, like, you know how dudes like be like, they can travel, they'll go to the city and they can enjoy the city. They'll go out for dinner, they can go out to the club, they can really enjoy the city and wake up the next day and, you know, go to warm-ups and, you know, still have everything's functioning, everything's fine. You can't do that in football. Like you have to get your rest. Like you can't go out and have a night out of town and drink and have a good time. You can't do none of that shit. You will absolutely fuck your game up. It's just not the same. The amount of energy it takes to put into a football game is way more than a basketball game. Way more.
are you gonna watch the Thursday night game, Halloween night? Texans at the Jets.
I may. It depends, man. I might have to take my little ones trick or treating.
Yeah, it's gonna be spooky. They're gonna be wearing the all black uniforms in New York.
Texas got all black in.
No,
Jets.
the Jets are. Al- Also, Aaron Rodgers
hate
now he's drinking water with cayenne pepper in it
Saw that.
to turn around the season.
Is that like sage in the field?
Yeah, I think so.
You hear about people doing the water cleanses where they just drink gallons of water and they have like lemon juice and cayenne pepper mixed in, and then you're supposed to feel better after you do that for a little bit. I don't know if that works or not.
I don't know. I water fast every now and then. I don't put none of that shit in it though. But like every now and then, like I don't know, every like 4 or 5 months, I'll just go a day where I just do nothing but just drink water. It kind of like resets the system. I honestly think that's how we evolved. I mean, if you think about it, we were hunter-gatherers, earmuffs, Big T, but we were hunter-gatherers. We evolved over many millennia. Every now and then we would have a meal. You know, we didn't eat every single day. It wasn't like that. And so like I think it really, our systems weren't meant to have 3 meals a day, which is why everybody's big. I don't think we were meant for this.
I mean, I've heard that too, that you can't rely in that type of lifestyle. You can't rely on eating 3 meals a day.
Mm-mm.
You just drink a shitload of water. You live near a creek or near a river. And then when you have a harvest or when you have like a big hunt and you get like a buffalo, then everybody eats for a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, the cayenne pepper, I don't know if he's only doing water with cayenne pepper. I feel like that wouldn't be a good idea for a quarterback to do in season, right? Like if you're going into a game and you're currently doing a water only fast.
How long is he doing it for?
I don't know. He's probably having meals. I doubt he might also just be saying to fuck with us. I could see Aaron Rodgers being like, "Yeah, I'm not eating any meals during the week and just drinking water," and then have people be like, "Wow, this is a dumbass idea." And then secretly he's just eating McDonald's all the time.
Yeah. I think if he does it for a day, he'll be fine. But if you do it like for a whole week, I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Gotta eat, man.
This is a funny story, and then we'll talk about the Zodiac Killer. There was a death row prisoner, and you get your last meal, right? They offer you, I don't think every state does it the same way. Some will do like more extravagant last meal requests. Some will just say you can have anything you want off the prison menu. But there was a killer who chose for his last meal 1 cigarette. He just wanted to smoke a cigarette. So this is 1995. Clive Stafford Smith was an author, and he talked about how Nicholas Lee Ingram asked for a final cigarette instead of a final meal in 1995, but they denied his request because they said it was unhealthy. Your thoughts?
We're about to fucking off you, bro, but we're looking after you here.
Yeah, come on. Think you don't want that poison. All right, now we're gonna strap you to a chair and shoot chemicals into your body. That stuff would kill you.
That would see. Well, I guess you kind of get into some slippery slopes there. Because if he requests a cigarette, well, dude is like, "Yo, I request a tab of LSD."
Mm-hmm.
I can understand that logic, but not it's unhealthy logic.
Well, one's illegal.
That's how I would want to go out.
LSD?
Oh yeah, super high, like
It's tripping.
Balls, dog. Not knowing what's going on, and then you can inject me and just let me go peacefully with all of that. What do they say that releases when you die? What's that chemical?
DMT?
Yeah, DMT. With all that shit releasing, mixing with the shit in my veins. Take me out, dog.
That's one drug that I think I will never ever take.
DMT?
DMT. Because my thought is that your brain produces it and it releases it when you die, probably for a reason. That's probably a chemical that you don't want to fuck around with because it's the death chemical. You don't want to release that stuff that you're only supposed to release when you die, because then when you actually die, are you still going to get that? Seems like a pretty important thing that your body's saving.
Huh. I don't know enough about it. Keep it a bean.
Yeah. I mean, there's a few drugs I think I'll never do. I don't think I'll ever do heroin.
You've already done heroin.
I've done heroin?
Yeah.
Not heroin. I've
Low
had
dosages of it. You have.
I've been prescribed pain medication before.
You've done heroin.
It's similar, but again, I say I will never inject or smoke heroin.
I would if I can guarantee I wouldn't die.
But then you get addicted to it.
That's not a guarantee.
You would probably get addicted.
How many casual users you think are out there?
We had our guy on. Was his argument. His whole argument was Carl Hart.
Mm-hmm.
His whole argument was like we think about addiction in a bad way. It's not just chemically, but it's neither here nor there. I don't think I would get addicted to it.
I'm gonna stand by my stance of never doing heroin, the drug.
I mean, I'm not going to either, but I'm saying if I could guarantee I wouldn't die, I would do all the drugs at once.
Well, you're not gonna die from DMT.
That's true. But there's two kinds. You have the DMT where you can just smoke it and it lasts like 20 minutes. And then there's that other one, ayahuasca, where you have to go get a shaman and you do the ritual, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to do that one.
You think so?
Yeah, I think I'm going to do that.
Be careful with who you use for that. Because I feel like it's becoming like a tourism industry, and there's some people that don't take as good care of people as the people that have been doing it for like years and years and years. So just make sure you go to a reputable person.
I'm gonna get the finest shaman this
Yeah.
side of the Mississippi.
I like that. Yeah. Treat yourself.
Yeah, you know, if you're gonna do a shaman, you got to do the best, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
I
don't
want
want
that nigga that
you get what you pay for with your shamans.
maybe. I want that nigga that don't shower. You know what I'm saying? Who wear the same thing every day. That's what I want. Who talks to trees?
Yeah.
I want that guy.
Sounds peaceful. But I've also heard that sometimes the experience of taking ayahuasca is not the most peaceful thing.
It releases your inner demons, man. That's kind of why I want to be in the right mind state
Yeah.
to it. It's kind of like shrooms, though. I've taken shrooms before, and it's like you have to be in the right setting. You have to be around the right people. And I think you have to, like, this is my personal opinion, by the way, and I do not endorse doing drugs, take them at your own risk. But I think you have to have like a certain, like you have to go with it. It's very intentional. It's not like a party drug. It's not like, hey, let's take this and let's have fun. It's like you go with like a certain mindset of what you want to experience from it. In my experience, that leads to a better trip.
Mm-hmm.
A
All right.
more existential, experience where you're doing self-reflection. Who am I? What am I? What do I want to be? What do I want to be to this world, this universe? One of those kind of vibes.
I've enjoyed my time doing it. I'll put it that way. I've always had a good time. Haven't really taken super mega doses, but always had a great time. All right.
Yeah, I've never done a hero dose either.
You want to talk about Zodiac?
Let's do it. This fucking guy.
Get ready for game day with the latest addition to the Barstool Sports rival collection, Barstool College. Shady Rays is partnered with Barstool Sports to bring you a new lineup of premium polarized shades that are perfect for showing off your team pride. The Barstool College collection features bold colorways inspired by some of the biggest names in college sports, ensuring you'll find the perfect pair to rep your team. Whether you're at the tailgate or in the stands, these shades deliver all-day comfort and top-notch performance. Plus, with Shady Rays hassle-free returns and exchanges, you can shop with confidence. Elevate your game day look with Barstool College Collection. Head over to shadyrays.com and use code MACRO, M-A-C-R-O, to get 35% off polarized sunglasses. See for yourself why over 300,000 people have rated these shades 5 stars.
Let's talk about Zodiac because he might be listening right now. So if you are the Zodiac Killer, turn yourself in.
Nah, he's dead. We got him.
You think he's dead?
So did you watch the documentary?
I have watched the documentary, and I've been following this guy, or at least people making videos about this guy. There is a TikToker out there.
Saw him as well.
His name is Jay Foy, and he has claimed over the last couple months that he has found the identity of the Zodiac Killer, and it's his grandfather. And so Jay Foy was going through all the things that he's found out about his grandfather, who he was not close with. He said that his grandfather was a real asshole, treated his wife and I think it was his mom like shit, was a real narcissistic guy, and he passed away. And this guy was a detective at the time in the same city that the Zodiac Killer was active in. In fact, he was the first person to show up after the first murder. He was the responding officer to that crime. And the pictures of him look a lot like the sketches of the Zodiac Killer. His handwriting matches up a little bit, but they make the same spelling mistakes in the police write-ups as the Zodiac Killer made in some of his writings that he had sent to like newspapers and stuff. They spell the word until, U-N-T-I-L-L. They spell it with 2 L's. And they both make that mistake. They spell some of the other same words incorrectly. And there's some other stuff. Now, granted, this is all coming from a guy he's been doing TikTok videos for like the last couple years, and that they're all the car selfie videos. Right. So we're trusting a guy doing a car selfie video who is very clearly trying to make a name for himself, saying that his grandfather was actually the Zodiac Killer. There are some similarities there. But if his grandfather was not the Zodiac Killer, this is like the ultimate example of brain rot, isn't it? Where like you're doing so much to get viral that you're accusing your grandfather of being a serial killer when in fact he was a cop that tried to catch this guy?
Would you, as someone who has made a little bit of money in the internet game, would you give your blessing to your grandchildren to say that you were a serial killer if it meant that they would make a nice chunk of change on TikTok?
Well, what would be the modern day equivalent? Because Zodiac Killer, I feel like I'm not in a position to say yes or no to that because it's obviously fake. But like a killer who was active in the 2000s or
Just any random serial killer killed, let's go 8 people.
8 people?
Yeah.
Like okay, so I guess the hypothetical would be, would I be okay with my grandchildren telling people that I was the DC sniper?
After you have passed, yes.
After I was dead? How much money are they going to make out of it?
$78,000.
No, that's not enough.
$150,000.
No. I think we'd have to be talking $1 million.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's my name.
Sure.
They already have generational wealth.
Well, also, yeah, and here's another question. Is if thank you, Mackenzie, for saying that's not true. I plan on spending almost all my money. They're not, those little shits aren't getting anything from me.
Hell yeah. Pick himself up by the bootstraps. Fuck him.
That's right. Learn your lesson. I'm like Warren Buffett.
You do it. I did it.
Yeah, I did it. I think that if there was like a concurrent Netflix documentary that came out and very clearly said that the real sniper was in fact the people who were the snipers, John Muhammad and Lee Boyd Malvo, then I would be okay with him saying that sort of thing. Yeah, I think probably. If it was,
okay, so a better piece of media just has to come out at the same time.
Yes.
That's more well done.
That's more well done.
That points to someone else.
And more believable.
Okay.
Yeah. But the guy, Jay Foy, makes a couple claims that there are some coincidences there. And I think the first person that the Zodiac Killer ever murdered, and it's still kind of up in the air on whether or not it was actually the Zodiac Killer that did it. That woman was from Nebraska. This guy's grandfather was also from Nebraska. He was there at the same time in the same city, knew her before she moved out to L.A. or was around her. And then this woman got killed, and they found a note that was written that had his grandfather's initials on it. And some of the writing in that note was similar to the way that this guy would write up police reports. So maybe he's attached to that crime or whatever. Also, he was kind of a creepy dude. And in one interview, he was talking about when he was attending to one of the women that got shot by the Zodiac Killer, it sounded like he was getting off while talking about like her injuries. If you listen to the audio, it's pretty creepy. He's talking about how like there was wind, or he was giving her CPR, and there was like some of the breath coming out of a hole that was like in her neck, and it was making like her blouse raise up and down. He was getting like very poetic with it. That part sounded creepy too, but it also could have been.
Can we pause it to listen to that and maybe play it on the pod?
Bra fluttering, almost like a poem, was so weird and creepy.
During the ride to the hospital. And of course her shirt or sweater, whatever she was wearing, was off. And each time that ambulance attendant blew air into her chest, there was a little piece of material from her bra that I could see fluttered with every breath he blew into that girl.
Ugh! What the f***? And he would also...
So yeah, that was the guy.
I don't know if he's the Zodiac Killer or not, but he should be locked up.
That's wild. Man.
Yeah, kind of creepy, right?
And he the police.
He was the policeman. Yeah, he was in charge of, I guess, first responder at the double murder or at the double shooting, right off the bat. And some of the claims that he could not have been the killer include the fact that the phone call that was placed from that payphone, which we'll get into a little bit later, but there was a call that was placed from a payphone. It was traced. It was nearby the police station. Could not have been from him because he was at the hospital with the victim as she was pronounced dead. But he was also the one who wrote up the times in that police report that gave himself an alibi. So he could have said, yeah, I was at the hospital at this time when she was pronounced dead, and then just like made that 30 minutes earlier and then driven and made the call.
That's tough, man.
But the guy still hasn't been caught, whoever the Zodiac Killer was or is. And it took place from 1968 to 1969, which seems like it was a very easy time to get away with murder. I feel like it's never been harder or never been easier to get
Wait, it went way longer than that.
5 people in Northern California between December 1968 and October 1969.
I don't believe that's accurate.
You don't think so?
I think it was like well into the 70s.
The letters continued into the 70s.
Okay.
Yeah. Like he kept fucking with the media into the 70s.
Okay.
They
got
even
it.
the letters came out, there were some in 1978. Yeah, I think that might have been the last time that he wrote a letter about it. But killed a lot of people in that time span. But what I'm saying is I feel like it's impossible to get away with these types of crimes now.
Yeah, I mean,
Very hard to do.
the only way you could get away with killing anybody is if it was someone you've never met, completely random, and you did it like once.
And you didn't bring your phone.
And you had no phone, no nothing. But then even if you did that twice, they'd find you.
Yeah, rented a car,
No, because then you've got your name on something somewhere.
built a car,
Right.
and
But
then
even then,
the
the parts, assembling the parts.
Didn't use your credit card for 2 weeks.
paid cash for all the automotive parts.
Hey, wait,
from
time out.
different
Y'all
stores.
are literally detailing and letting somebody know how to murder somebody, man. It's weird.
No,
No,
we're
but-
just saying this is the only possible way.
Let's talk
Yeah,
about
you're
it.
giving somebody an avenue. That's
I think
weird.
anyone of reasonable intelligence could come to these same conclusions.
I also think that it's pretty.
Yeah, I just don't want to be implicated on any manifesto. That's all I'm saying.
Gotcha. I agree with that.
Me too.
If you are a murderer, please
Stop again.
stop, and then unsubscribe from Macrodosing.
I mean, what if they change their life?
I don't want to be implicated. But you would have to take like 10 years, go to various auto parts shops, pay for every part to the car in cash, build a car, and then put a fake license plate on it.
But even now there's cameras everywhere. So you probably that like even that wouldn't really matter.
Yeah, because even if you walked to go commit, well, I guess I'm thinking of just, it's probably easier in rural areas, but
Sure.
in a urban environment, everywhere that you walk, there's like cameras in front of every door, in front of every building, on street corners. Some police.
But now there's
departments use
ring
them.
cameras
Yeah,
on people's front porches.
That's what I'm saying. Like on every door, I think it's never been harder to be a serial killer than it is today
They got it
in the
tough,
United
man.
States.
I mean, when was the last one we had?
We're so absent of serial killers that we're just making them up now. Like the smiley face killer. That's been going on for 30 years. It's been an urban legend.
Was Anthrax guy the last one?
Did he kill multiple people, or did he just make multiple people
I don't
sick?
even think he
I
killed
don't
anybody,
know.
did he?
He was attempting to, I guess.
Yeah. Let's see. What other serial killers have we had recently?
I think they're just turning into mass shooters because they get it done right away. Maybe?
That's true. Yeah.
But that's a like there's a psychology to serial killers that's different than that.
Okay, let's break down the Venn diagram of murder. Let's do it. I'm game.
Well, I mean, generally serial killers are like this guy. They're sending ciphers to
I agree with
newspapers,
you.
and
I think there's nuance amongst death.
so it's like it's a different thing.
So you would categorize serial killer as different than a mass murderer.
Yeah, I think
Okay,
I think
yeah,
it's
I'm
a
with you.
different thing.
I think
I'm with you. So that's like a one-off. I'm trying to die after this moment kind of thing. Whereas this is this psycho, analytical. He wants to have some kind of control, manipulation, and
Yeah,
thrill
it's
from
a
maybe?
mental like game.
I think the mental games
Yeah.
are probably similar. That they're probably both very upset about something, feel like they don't have any control over their lives, have resentment towards a specific group of people and are very violent and angry. But a serial killer, it's like you're plotting out your career. It's like you want to do this for a while. This is like your job now. A mass shooter, it's like, I'm going to do this, and then that's the end. Then it's over.
Yeah. Okay. Didn't they just have a mass shooter in Atlanta? Wasn't he shooting from a hotel room or some shit like that?
Yeah, yesterday. And then
What
he got
the-
shot in the face, but was like, okay, I guess, because they were loading him into the ambulance and he was like screaming at him.
Did he kill anybody?
I didn't hear more from that. Let me look.
I'm glad that we're starting to take these guys alive. For a long time, it was like they were all either getting shot and killed at the end, or they were offing themselves at the end, and that still happens a lot. But I feel like more and more recently, we've had more people that get taken alive by the cops, and then they have to answer to people.
It's batshit insane that it's so prevalent.
Yeah,
We're just like I say the mass shooting. You're like, yeah, I'm pretty sure there was.
It seems like
That's crazy.
only 2 people were injured, but they were okay.
That's good.
that is good. Bad
Yeah,
shot.
I'm with you though. I think there is and I think there's actually utility in taking time to categorize all the different kinds of like murdering there is, because then you could take preventative steps in the future to understanding this kind of behavior. I'm with you, Big T.
Yeah, find out what the path was for these guys to become either a serial killer or a mass shooter, and then find out why it happened.
Absolutely.
I can't talk about that anymore. Too adorable.
Yeah. Earmuffs.
Earmuffs, yeah.
Earmuffs on baby.
But yeah, okay. So back to plotting how to get away with being a serial killer. You got to build your own.
Burner phone. See, this is.
But they can track burner phones too.
I'm saying, how do you even get a burner phone? Maybe you have to work for a phone company. Maybe.
I think they can trace your call. They can find out what
Your
number
location for sure.
what number you were using. They can find that's a number that's been assigned to a burner phone. Then they can contact the burner phone producing company and say, "This is the number that we got. Where do you think this was shipped when you shipped it out? Numbers like this. Do you have that in your database?"
Wait,
And then-
I got a way around it. What about if a dude is like hella tech savvy and he knows how to like, jailbreak and encrypt a phone to where they can't be like traced, or like the IP address is constantly running different numbers or something like that?
I think if you use a smartphone at all, they can find a way.
I think if it hits the
Really?
cellular network, then they can trace back where it likely came from.
All right, he built a cell phone then
Yeah,
that can use different towers.
yeah. If you build your own car, build your own phone.
So much effort just to murder somebody, bro. Just off yourself. This is crazy.
Yeah. So when we were talking the other day about the King Von retribution killing, those guys were
Right.
using burner phones, but they all got caught because they traced back where the burner phones were sold. Then you can try to find the surveillance footage and credit card numbers associated with that purchase.
Why would you just do cash?
Yeah,
See, this is-
you have to do cash. You'd have to wear like a hoodie and a disguise. You'd probably have to hire somebody that looked a lot like you to go like eat a meal at a restaurant and be on camera and use your credit card so that you had like an on-camera alibi. There was a guy that tried to do that with his, I think it was like a family member he was killing, but he became friends with this dude on Xbox Live, and then they hung out a few times, and he said, "Hey, I need you to go to my lawyer's office and drop a check off for me at this time. And I need you to dress like me and say that you're me, and then you'll be my alibi." Then they tracked down who that guy was, and then he flipped on the dude that committed the murder. But yeah, you'd have to have like twins. I think twins could probably do it. If you had a secret twin that nobody knew about, you pay that guy to use your card, go to a restaurant, be on camera while he's buying something, using your credit card. Then you take the car and the gun and the phone that you built yourself for the last like 15 years, and then drove somewhere, and then like somewhere completely random, and then did it. I think that's probably, and you'd still probably get caught. There's probably
Yeah,
probably cameras and stuff on all the roads. They'd track your car, see where it was going. They'd know where you were.
You can find maybe like on the outskirts of town, maybe like an abandoned lot that you can use that could be set up with gasoline cans, and then you park it there, burn the car, burn the cell phone, but then you got to have a way up out of there, which is maybe, I don't know, get a horse, nigga. It's tough.
Get a horse.
I don't know, man. It's tough. It's tough for all y'all murderers nowadays, man. Good luck.
Yeah. But yeah, this guy has allegedly gotten away with it. I don't know if the Netflix thing is going to be like, open and shut, if it's going to finally
Okay, can I
close the
say
case
something
on
too
it.
about this? So I watched it. What is it? Three episodes? Three or
Yeah.
four? They dragging these episodes out.
It could have been
One.
It could have been.
It could have been
Could have
one.
been 90 minutes. It was like 2.5 hours. It could have been 90.
Dogs. And I don't mean just them. I've been watching a lot of series lately. I got a lot of time on my hands. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these episodes, these episodic things, they dragging them. We just need to get more to the point, especially these docuseries with all these. They drag these things out, dog. They need to start consolidating some of their information. A lot of their information isn't pertinent.
Mhm.
It just isn't. I understand story building, building character. I get all of that part, but you can do that in one episode. A lot of it is they dragging it, man. I don't know. Maybe that's my 8 off.
Adolf. Dragging out too many series. All right, so back to the Zodiac. So he killed people between December 1968 and 1969. Murdered 5 people, at least. He claims that he murdered more and attempted to murder 2 other people. Some people think he killed as many as 30 people, and the Zodiac himself claimed that he took out 37 people. So they were all pretty. He wasn't a very good killer. He seemed to go after women more than he went after men, because all the men that he attacked, he didn't attack them as hard as he attacked the women. And the only dude that he made sure died was a taxi driver that he made sure that dude was fucking dead. But for the most part, he was going after women. He was going after couples. And it all happened in Northern California. The first attack was at Lake Herman in Benicia, California. Second attack was in Vallejo. Third attack was at Lake Berryessa in Napa. And he used guns and knives. And then he would call the cops afterwards to report, hey, I've just murdered these 2 people. So he definitely had some narcissism to him, where he wanted the cops to know that it was the same guy that was doing all these. So it's still a cold case right now. Have you guys seen the movie Zodiac?
I'd never heard of that.
It's
I did.
It's pretty scary. I'll say it's a movie that is scary, maybe because it's true. But yeah, very, very creepy stuff. Good movie though. Did you like it, Aaron?
That's the one with Iron Man in it, right?
Jake Gyllenhaal?
Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr.
I thought Jake Gyllenhaal was in it. Am
I believe
misremembering?
they both are.
Okay.
Yeah. I liked the movie. That was before I saw that years ago, and I didn't even know anything about the Zodiac Killer. But yeah, no, it was a good movie. Robert Downey Jr. did a really good job. And from what they say on the documentary, that he did a good job of playing Buddy. He was very persistent, very so shout out to him. Method acting.
Good actor, great actor.
Was he the cartoonist?
No, he was the reporter.
Jake Gyllenhaal was the cartoonist, right?
I don't know who Jake Gyllenhaal is, man. What a name though.
Dated Taylor Swift.
Yep.
Jake.
He was in
Gyllenhaal.
Jarhead.
Oh,
Donnie Darko.
Mysterio. I know him from being Mysterio.
Yeah, so Jake Gyllenhaal was the cartoonist guy.
And Brokeback Mountain.
Yep.
Oh yeah, he's in Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah. I actually watched that movie.
That take place in Utah?
I don't know where it was.
I was thinking Altitude.
My shorty was like, it's a really good movie. I was like, it's gay. If I watch it, I'm gay. She's like, nah, you can watch it. I'm like, all right, I'll watch it.
PFD, I got
Pretty
that
good movie,
joke.
man. It's a
Thank
good
you.
movie.
So not only did the Zodiac call the cops on himself a lot to just be like, hey, I got another one, he would also send a shitload of letters to newspapers to news stations. He sent 18 letters at least, and then he would write in code to make people try to crack his code. And he would threaten the newspapers and be like, you have to put this on the front page or else I'm going to kill more people. And then they would do it. Do you think?
Yeah, so I thought about that the moral compass of that as an editor. What do you do?
I don't think I publish it.
I think I have to.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think you have to. But I think you put his stipulations in there. I was told to publish this or else he was going to kill more people. Like, so that way yeah, I'm kind of absolving because this is like one of the first, I guess like the really first. No, I guess it's not one of the first because Jack the Ripper like took the nation by storm. You missed that episode, but people were like obsessed with it, right?
Yeah.
And then there's theories that there were more murders to try to replicate what he was doing, and so that could come into play as well. But if you don't do it, and then somebody got killed and the blood is on your hands, like at least this is like the blood is on my hands. I'm not doing the killing.
Right.
I'm just letting you know this was the predicament placed upon me.
But I think if you publish it, then you add to the guy's ego, and it's not. He's a serial killer. He's not gonna like abide by his word.
Don't disagree.
Yeah.
But say all right. Let's play devil's advocate. Let's say I write you a letter. I say if you don't publish, I'm gonna kill another one. And then a week later, you get a letter with a thumb in it, and you're like, "I told you could have stopped this. Now do it, or I'm gonna do it again."
Yeah. I just
You know
think
what I'm
that
saying?
if you don't publish it, you probably make him more emotional and probably make him more liable to make a mistake where he gets caught anyways.
So you're absolving yourself from the subsequent murder that takes place that he warned you of.
Yes.
I see. I don't know if I can do that.
It'd be tough. It'd be a hard decision. Obviously, like it's easy to say right here.
Yeah.
But if you're getting thumbs in the mail, that'd be a different story. So this guy would send all these letters making demands. The newspapers would go along with it. They would publish the letters. Nobody's ever been charged. There was a suspect, and that was Arthur Lee Allen. And he was named a suspect in 1992 after he died. And he was considered the killer by Robert Graysmith. He was the cartoonist at the San Francisco Chronicle. And then he left his job and then spent 15 years researching this guy. And in 1986, he had a book called Zodiac, and that was the basis for the 2007 movie, Zodiac. And then in 2002, they took genetic traces from envelopes that contained the killer's letters from the 60s. They were matched against Allen's DNA, and they cleared him. It was not his DNA. They said Arthur Lee Allen does not match the partial DNA fingerprint developed from Zodiac letters.
That doesn't mean he wasn't the guy, though.
That's true. It means that wasn't his fingerprint.
Right.
Yeah.
Cleared him from that being his DNA, not from being the killer.
This is not a piece of evidence that we can use. Yeah. And then the Netflix series called This is the Zodiac Speaking. It just came out. You can watch it now. And people who say they knew Allen when they were children claim that he confessed to being the Zodiac Killer to them, drugged them as children, and may have brought them along on some of the killings.
So that was very wild to me. So when you watch the documentary, they almost talked about him with so much reverence, even though they thought he was the killer. Did you notice that, Big T? How they were like, they didn't even call him Mr. Allen.
Right. So if you haven't seen it, it mainly interviews this family who the kids, he didn't date their mom necessarily, but he hung around a lot and would take them to go do different stuff. He was a teacher, and they'd go to watch movies.
I was confused about that. They actually, him and his mom wasn't fucking. They wasn't fucking.
I don't know. I didn't get the sense that maybe they were at one point, but then they stopped. I don't know.
But see that kind of, and catching back up. I just don't want to lose this thought. That kind of coincides with him molesting her, because that's a telltale sign of like child molesters. They're just a family friend.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so that kind of correlates. But go ahead.
So he may have been dating the mom for a little bit, but he was a teacher in town who would take these kids, like hang out with them basically in the fatherly ish manner. And so they talk all about him, and turns out he ended up like molesting one of the kids. And then,
But that's kind of alleged too, though, too, isn't it? Because
well, that's what he went to the like psych hospital for.
oh, so he did get. See, what I thought was that because he drugged them, so the girl doesn't even. She like made a painting for him and shit, but like she doesn't remember anything. And the dude that ended up dying of cancer, that he admitted it to, but he only knew after, like years after.
Yeah, they didn't know why he went to the like mental hospital,
Got you.
but that's what it turned out to be.
So how did they catch him? I missed that part.
So he they had I wrote down some of the different stuff. So he was a teacher, and he would teach his students how to decode like ciphers and stuff, which was obviously the telltale sign of the Zodiac guy. He took the kids to the different spots where the murders had occurred, and would just be like, "Oh, we're gonna go to the beach today," and he would take them to the beach where like one of the murders was. He took the kids to Riverside College,
and they weren't. It wasn't just like we're going to a public beach. This beach was like kind of like way out of the way, where like nobody really knew about.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just like the public, but like it was crazy. Go ahead.
Yeah, he took them to Riverside College the day before. I forget if it was one or two people were killed there. There's all sorts of stuff. I forget exactly how it came to light that he was probably the guy. But then
there's a bunch of shit. They went to go interview Cuz when he started getting attention for being it. This nigga has a Zodiac watch on, like the brand name is Zodiac.
And then he had pipe bombs in his basement.
Yeah, pipe bombs, and then he had posthumously, the lady they found out, and there was boxes and boxes of shit of letters that the lady, the mom, and him were going back and forth with for years. And he's always alluding to the Zodiac, like about confessing, about saying if it was me, that kind of stuff. Like, so real, just like creepy language with the letters. And then as the kids start to get suspicious about him being the Zodiac, their mom tries to silence him. Like, don't tell anybody this. Don't tell anybody, like that kind of stuff. Then they found a wrapped up knife that had, and this is what I didn't get about the documentary. There was like that knife, and then at the end of the shit, sorry, spoiler alert if you haven't watched it, so earmuffs. But at the end, they have like a rusty knife that a DNA, they were doing a DNA analysis on it. But I'm like, why is Netflix getting this knife?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why is this not turning to authorities? Why are we watching this live? I don't understand. That didn't make no sense.
And then they don't even, they're like, the DNA test is being done. The production team is awaiting the results.
Yeah, I'm like, don't put out the documentary until the
like
shit
what
comes
the
out,
hell?
bro. What are we doing?
I'm generally pretty hesitant to, or at least aware of when documentaries are very one-sided and they're trying to get you to think something. This is obviously, I mean, they flat out say it's this guy, but it does. I mean, the circumstantial evidence is pretty overwhelming.
Yeah, I think it's funny though that the family, if you find like a murder weapon, like don't dial 911, just call Netflix. Like Netflix should get
like,
they should get a
wild.
3-digit phone number. Like dial 333. Hello,
Wild.
hello Netflix, I just found a gun. I think it was used in a murder. Get here as fast as you can.
Just wild. just wild, dog. But the other thing that to me, like, again, circumstantial evidence is the absence of the Zodiac letters is directly correlated to when he was locked away.
Correct.
Yeah, there is
You know
that.
what I mean? So, and then his dumbass, as soon as he comes back, he's like, "I'm back with you." He writes another letter to the editor saying, "I'm back with you." Like, that's not, he would have got caught in today's world, 1,000%.
Most likely. So there's a couple other suspects, or not official suspects, but people that that claim that maybe they've been, or people that have been named by their friends, family. There was a guy that confessed to being the Zodiac Killer named Louis Myers, and he was a suspect in 2014 because his friend Randy Kenny told reporters that Myers confessed to the murders when he was dying of cirrhosis in 2001. He said, "I killed some people. I'm the guy they're looking for. They've been looking for me for over 30 years. I'm the guy that's the Zodiac Killer." And he said that his friend made this confession so that he could write a book about it and give proceeds to victims and survivors of the attacks. What do you think would be worse? Do you think it, like, to say your grandfather was the Zodiac Killer after he's dead so that you can get a few more views on TikTok, or to say that your friend confessed on his deathbed to being the Zodiac Killer so that you could write a book and make money off of it? I feel like that guy's worse, right? The guy that said my guy only told me that he was a Zodiac Killer.
No, the other dude's worse.
You think the grandson?
Well, that guy, even if
worse.
there's at least a little bit of evidence that could be potentially true. If the other guy just made it up out of thin air, that's way worse.
Oh, I was talking about who's the worst human being.
Right.
The TikTok guy's the worst human being.
You think so? Like, if your
Yeah,
friend,
the other guy has consent. He's saying, I am willingly participating in this bullshit ass story so you can make $1.
no, but I'm saying, like,
The other dude threw his grandpa under the bus.
No, but we don't know that.
Yeah, we're saying that maybe his friend didn't say this.
Bro, I'm not outing my grandpa unless I got evidence, bro.
You're probably still not going to out him.
That's what I'm gonna out my grandpa if he on some silly shit. If I'm digging in my grandpa's old crates and I found a thumb or some shit, yeah, you gotta go, grandpa. Like, what are we talking about?
Well, yeah, if you find a thumb.
Okay, if I find evidence.
So this guy's that claimed that his buddy confessed to being the killer as he was dying from cirrhosis, said that his friend Louis Myers, the potential suspect, was in Germany from 1971 to 1973, and it was during that time period that the killer didn't send any letters or codes. He also worked at a military surplus store in Vallejo, creating a link to the boot prints that were found at one of the scenes of the crimes. And yeah, he says that his buddy told him about it and confessed to all this stuff. And his buddy went to high school with two of the victims, that he worked at a restaurant with a different victim. But these are all claims that they have not really been able to substantiate or back up. But as far as the letters go and the codes go, they went unsolved for 50 years, some of them. There was the 340 cipher. The 340 cipher was called that because it had 340 characters, and it was a code. And the NSA, CIA, FBI, they all tried to break it. They could not break the code. And then after this one guy, David Orenchak, spent 15 years working on the code, he replied to a YouTube comment about the cipher. And the guy who made the video and the commenter, Sam Blake, got together and they started working on a way that they could solve it. They got another guy involved to write software to try to help them solve it. And it ran through 650,000 possible solutions.
That's crazy work, by the way.
I know, just as a hobby, right? And the FBI confirmed these guys, they solved the cipher. A YouTuber and a commenter teamed up together, and they cracked the code for it. So they translated it, and I'll read it now. It was, "I hope you were having lots of fun and trying to catch me. That wasn't me on the TV show, which brings up a point about me. I'm not afraid of the gas chamber because it will send me to paradise all the sooner, because I now have enough slaves to work for me, where everyone else has nothing when they reach paradise, so they are afraid of death. I'm not afraid because I know that my new life will be an easy one in paradise death." So that they figured out that the Zodiac Killer thought that every person that he killed was going to be a slave in the afterlife. But that's wild that, like, just internet commenters got together and solved this.
But it took computer programs and shit like that for them to crack this dude's code. So, okay, so I'm confused. Like, maybe I don't know what a cipher is. Or maybe, did he just make some shit up and they had to figure it out? Or is this like a Did he give him a key? Like how do you start to crack a cipher? I don't know enough about ciphers.
I don't know either. The guy invented a code, and there's you can be trained in code writing, code cracking.
See, this is like the riddle shit. You know what I mean? Like you just
Yeah.
made some shit up. That's why nobody figured it out. It's a riddle.
So I know that if you have to figure out if each letter or if each symbol means a word or if each symbol means a letter. And then you have to start looking for very common words. And then that can lead you to figure out like the word the, THE. If you can find one thing that repeats a lot, then you know that might be the word the, or maybe the letter T, the letter H.
Or like a vowel or some
or
shit.
the letter
yeah.
E. And then you start using, okay, what if this was the letter E? What if this was the word the or the? And then you take that symbol and then you make everything else in that code the word the. And then you see if that leads you to something else when you fill in some of the other E's out there.
You know what we should do? We should invent a cipher and see and whoever cracks it first, I don't know, we give them something. I don't know.
There's like a big online community of code crackers that do it for fun. They
Really?
They try to come up with the most advanced codes and then they try to crack them. There's some statue that it's on the grounds of the CIA somewhere, and it's written. I think there are 3 different parts to it, and they've just challenged anyone that works at the CIA to crack this code. And I think 2/3 of it have been cracked. I don't know if they've cracked the last one yet, but yeah, there's like big online communities of code crackers that will spend all their free time doing that.
That's dope, actually.
Yeah. So this dude, whoever the Zodiac Killer was, he was obsessed with medieval imagery. He wore an executioner's hood for at least one of the murders, and he was really into the Celtic cross, or the Odin's cross. That's probably the thing that you recognize the most about him, because it's like a crosshairs, and that's kind of what he's known for. And in his code, he would use some of the zodiac alphabet symbols that are symbols that are in common with the zodiac alphabet. It's a 13th century alphabet called the Zodiac alphabet. And they almost caught him too. They probably should have caught him after he killed the cab driver. So
yeah, he was. That's hilarious. Not sad, but silly as shit.
It's sad, but it's like it is almost kind of funny. There were 3 people that saw the Zodiac Killer in the front seat of the taxi cab, and they saw the guy killing the taxi driver. They called the police to report it. They gave a description of the perpetrator. They said he was a white male between 25 and 30 years of age. Big T, how old are you?
27.
Do you think someone what would they clock you as if they just saw Big T walking down the street?
What do you mean?
Like what
aside from
like potential age?
I'm giving 35.
35?
Yeah, you look 35, dog.
I would say anywhere between 25 and 30. Yeah, 5.
See, I think if I shaved, you would say like 21.
Nah, if you shaved, like you definitely in your 20s. But bro, you 6'5". No, like that equates to age in people's heads.
That's true.
I've been 6'5" since I was 16 or 17.
But
But
that's true though. People see big people and they're like, that guy's older
Mm-hmm.
because he's bigger.
I guess if y'all say
You
so.
fight against people's perceptions here, you know?
It's true.
So they said he was between 25 and 30. He was 5'8" to 5'9", stocky, reddish brown hair, crew cut, heavy rimmed glasses, dark clothes. And they saw the perpetrator walking north on Cherry Street. And then there were 2 patrol officers. They responded to the 911 call. They saw a white male walking east on Jackson Street. They did not stop or question him because the dispatcher had told the cops that you should be looking for a black male. So they took the phone call, and then they said, yeah, he's a black guy. And then the officers realized they may have encountered the perpetrator after the description was corrected later.
Crazy.
Yep, they had him, and then he got away. There was, going back to the guy that Netflix pointed at, Louis Myers, or or sorry, not Louis Myers. This would be Allen, right?
Rayleigh, what's
Ar-
the name?
Arthur Lee.
Arthur
Allen.
Lee. Arthur Lee Allen.
Also, the guy, the TikTok dude, his grandfather, his middle name was Lee, which is also one of the reasons why they looked at Ray Lee Allen, because they figured out that somebody may have referred to him as Lee at some point. So going back to the DNA and the lack of fingerprint evidence or DNA evidence, there was a friend of Arthur Lee Allen named Don Chaney, and he called the cops in 1971 to report his friend as potentially being the Zodiac. But then that made the cops got skeptical. The detective said, sometimes I wonder if he had more involvement with Zodiac than he lets on. And then after being questioned, Chaney told him that he had once gone to Allen's house, saw a stack of letters that he had been meaning to send out. Allen then asked Chaney to help him finish up by licking the stamps and putting all the envelopes together. So they thought that Chaney might have been like admitting to something without admitting to the big crime, which is a lot of times cops will try to get you to confess to crimes by saying like, hey, I know that you didn't mean to do this, or, you know, et cetera, and then get you to admit to a small part of it. And then they're like, yeah, we're going to charge you with everything because you admitted to this part. So they were speculating that Chaney was saying, that's why my fingerprints, that's why my saliva might be on there. But Chaney was never named as a suspect. And when Arthur Lee Allen's DNA was tested against the partial Zodiac DNA in 2002, and Chaney's DNA also came back negative. So, but you guys think that it was Allen?
It would have to be so insane for it to have not been him. Like, I mean, if you watch the thing, like, it's that guy.
Yeah, and
I haven't poured over the mountain loads of evidence, but from what I have seen, it definitely looks that way. A lot of coincidences have to be lined up for it. It's too many coincidences. Like, so Shorty was talking about when they was younger, they went to the exact beach that Big T was talking about. They went to that exact beach where the murder was, and he comes back all disheveled, like he's like all in a rush. She said there's something on his hands, right? And now she's like, what? You know, she's like young, but not young enough to not know what's going on, but young enough to not know what's going on, but not young enough to not understand something's going on. And so she said he has something on his hands. She tries to help him clean it. He pushes her in the car. Like all of it, like that's a very vivid memory. And that was the one that was defending him. That was the one that was.
One of the I forget the details. Maybe you remember it better. There was a letter. I forget if it was sent somewhere. It was found after he died. It was a code, and it said, "My next victim is this. This is their name."
It was her.
And so they ran it through a computer that went through hundreds of thousands of combinations of whatever, and it said the most likely is Connie Henley.
Henley, and their last name was like Hensley.
The mother's maiden name was Hensley, and Connie was the name of the girl who he had molested.
Connie seems like a pretty specific name to pull out.
Right.
Yes. And it went from Henley to Hensley. So it's like, I mean, there's a lot of little shit like that all over the place. And then the fact that, like, to me, the seller for me was that he was so obsessed with the Zodiac in his letters to the mom. Like, yeah, it's going on and shit, but like, you're talking about how if it was me, they're, you know what I'm saying, they're thinking about it, like that type shit. Where it's like, yo, what is you talking about? Why would that be a topic of conversation? Sending letters back and forth. Like, why is that? Why are we talking about this? So, I don't know, but from the evidence that I've seen, it would surprise me if it was somebody else.
It's insane that guy never got arrested.
Yeah,
like
for that. Shit, he was arrested for something totally different.
Right.
Crazy.
Yeah, but they found pipe bombs. How is it not a crime to have a pipe bomb in your house?
Yeah, really.
Even if you're not being arrested for being the Zodiac
I think
killer,
it is a crime.
I would assume.
Yeah.
Second Amendment. Government got pipe bombs. Why can't I have a pipe bomb?
That's right. You're trying to protect your constitutional right.
Arm myself against a tyrannical government.
The
That's all.
jackbooted thugs.
Well, you should do that.
Tree of Liberty should be watered with the blood of tyrants. So this guy allegedly confessed to Connie, allegedly confessed to David as well, which was now David and Connie. David, is that the husband?
That was one of the
The
siblings.
sons, the oldest son.
Okay. Yeah, so David says that in 1992, his mom told him to call Alan because his health was rapidly declining.
Oh God, this one broke my heart, dog.
And he said that Alan was crying on the phone and confessed that he drugged them as kids, molested his sister. And then he asked Alan if he was a Zodiac killer. Alan admitted that he was.
Off top, if I'm Buddy. And he said, I hung up with him and said, I never want to talk to you again, or whatever he said, right? Like, if I found out that you did that to my sister, like, I'm going over to your house, because like he was on all kind of pills at the time, right? I'm going over to your house. I'm taking all your pills, and I'm just gonna watch you. That's what I'm doing. I'm not gonna kill you. I'm just gonna watch you. I'm gonna watch you, and you gonna suffer. Fuck this dude. But he just like didn't do anything. Didn't call the police. Didn't do nothing. Just didn't talk to him again. I'm like, bro, you got to get some type of get back.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I don't understand that line of thinking. But like, you know, I'm not putting that situation. I don't want to judge him too harshly because, you know, rest in peace. Because actually, he died like 3 weeks after that filming.
Yeah, I mean, you think
he was like terminally ill.
So if they figure out that guy got killed, like in his house, and then they find out who did it, and let's say this guy confesses, he's like, yeah, this guy was dying, and he just confessed to being the Zodiac Killer and molesting my sister. So you'd have to be charged with something, right?
Yeah.
But the judge would probably give you, kind of like that guy down in Louisiana, probably just be like, no jail time. Just like,
yeah, like probation or some shit.
I don't think that you're going to kill anybody else.
But I say I don't even think I don't murder him like gruesomely. I just take his pills and watch him suffer.
Yeah.
That's what I'd do.
So yeah, we'll find out what happened with that knife maybe one day.
Yeah,
It's
that's
a
so
very strange
So-
way to
So
end it.
irresponsible.
So they said that they shared the information with the Vallejo Police Department, and the production team is waiting to hear back from the Vallejo Police Department.
It's just irresponsible, and shows where we at as a society.
But would the
Blood-
police
blood
department
sells.
hit them up and like, hey, we're just going to keep you updated here?
I'm pretty sure they have. Like, it'll be public information, right? It's an open case.
I don't
So I
know.
guess they don't have
They don't
to-
have to share information about ongoing investigations.
You're right. Yeah.
But are they going to be
Eventually
like,
they would though, right?
hey, Netflix, just to keep you informed, here's where we're at. I don't think, like, Netflix isn't the police department's boss, so if the cops don't have to share something with you, they probably won't. Just
Yeah, I don't know
knowing how
about the hierarchy.
police departments work, they're just like, okay, thank you for the information. We will do what we want to do with it. So, I don't know. What do you do if you find out that that's actually the guy, the DNA matches, all that stuff? Do you, like, have a press conference and name him? Like,
Got to.
yeah,
Got to. Justice for the families, man.
that's true.
That
Can you imagine
documentary.
just be on Lover's Lane, you chilling with your shorty, and some dude come up and smoke you?
This guy was an
And then that's
incel. That's my big takeaway from the Zodiac killings, is that this guy hated when teenagers were fooling around in cars and fooling around by lakes. This was a man that did not have much success with the ladies. And so he was trying to take people out who were.
The doc didn't go too much into the police, if at all, actually. But, like, what were they doing this whole time?
Don't know.
Because it seems like the guy at the San Francisco Chronicle was doing way more to try to catch this guy than the police in any of these cities ever were.
Yeah. Yeah, this guy, he made it like his full-time job, just researching this dude.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God for dudes with hobbies. Dudes with hobbies get shit done.
Yeah.
Like, people that are passionate about something that don't get paid for it, those people are the ones that are out there making innovations and making progress and inroads. Right? Because when it becomes your job, then it becomes your job. It's no longer your passion, no longer your love. It's like, I would play football for free. Arian demanded contracts.
Would you podcast for free?
Yeah.
What are you
Right now?
Fuck out of here. I'd probably
I'd probably podcast for free. I like doing it. I think I think at some point, hopefully far down the line, I will retire from podcasting, but then I'm going to be just sitting around and be like, man, I really wish that I could just chop it up with the boys and the girls.
Maybe.
I don't know. It's a pretty fun job.
It's amazing.
Right. It's a fun job.
Yeah. It's my life too. Like my life is doing this stuff.
A lot of people
Yeah.
do podcasts for free.
Yeah, it's true.
That's true. But once you've gotten paid for it,
I actually, you know what? I actually think that the people out there that are podcasting for free probably have a little bit more passion than I do.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
You're right.
For
You know
sure.
what? You've won me over.
Yeah,
I agree.
I would say if you're out there putting out 5 podcasts a week on your own,
That's kind
And
of brave.
5,
Eh,
definitely.
and you're not getting
That's
paid
kinda wild,
for
bro.
it, and you're doing it consistently, yeah, I think that person has more passion for it. That is like the most passionate person on the planet.
Yeah, I agree.
I want to listen to that guy's podcast. Actually,
Oh, you know what? We're having a class war conversation. It's exactly what Marx talked about.
there you go. I'm a podcast Marxist. If you know any podcasts that somebody's doing just for the love of the game 5 times a week, direct me that. I don't care what it's about. I want to listen to that.
We get on our YouTube homepage, like the Macrodosing home YouTube page, because we're a podcast and take in a lot of podcast content. We get a lot of really, really niche 5-view podcasts.
Yeah.
And some of the topics that they cover, you didn't even know people cared about.
Yeah.
I'd like to see some of those.
Back during COVID,
I'll send you some.
I said I was going to be a guest on as many niche podcasts as I could.
Right.
And I went on a podcast about corn. I went on a podcast about swimming. There's a Harry Potter podcast. I forget what
makes
else
sense.
was out there.
2 of those are things I would expect to have podcasts.
Corn.
No, that's the one I would
Swimming.
know.
Corn's new. Like how much is there to talk about corn?
We talked about how many kernels are on each ear of corn.
How much? What's the average?
I forget. It was 4 years ago. I forget. There's like a
Maddie, can you
specific
look that up
amount.
real quick?
Hang on.
Say it one more time.
I want to guess.
Say it
Okay.
one time.
Oh, because you're really
Well,
good at this.
Yeah. Look it up. How many kernels are in an ear of corn? I'm gonna say it's, let's call it 20 up, and then
Wait, kernels are just an individual little piece of corn, right?
Yeah.
yes, I'm
And
going.
an ear is just like the, you know what I mean, pause, but it's the, the shaft of the.
It's
Yes.
just a cob of corn.
I'm going
All right,
to
let me
guess there
guess,
are
let me guess.
500.
I'm gonna go with 700.
So you are
PFT guess.
434.
okay. So you're kind of all somewhat right. The number can vary from about 500 to 1,200,
Oh.
but a typical ear will have 800 kernels in 16 rows.
Like Arian was the closest guess again.
So
Big T,
16. So
Every time we do this, Big T, you be taking L's. I'm just saying.
that wasn't an L. My guess was included in the range.
My guess was better though.
All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to the Zodiac podcast. I think we solved the crime. Good for us.
After other people had solved it.
I've still got my eyes on that TikToker guy's grandfather.
He
Well,
might not be
he's
the
dead,
Zodiac
so
Killer, but he's a weirdo.
Detective. His initials matched up with that letter. His middle name was Lee. He was a real creep. First responding police officer
We
on
in
the
a
scene.
new wave, man. This clout chasing shit this shit should be done. We should dead this shit. Like
I
as a
know.
society.
It's
we
re-
should not reward clout chasing, dog.
It's really sad if his grandfather was not the Zodiac Killer. And
Sure,
every
what-
single one of this guy's TikToks, every single one going back for as long as he's been on TikTok, all self-facing car selfie videos. All of them.
You'd think his parents would have been like, hey, knock it the fuck off.
Yeah. All right. Well, we will see you guys next Tuesday, Election Day, on Nanodosing. Should be fun.
Oh shit.
The
day.
election spectacular.
Big day.
Big day.
Boom!
Down.
What do you give democracy, Big T?
5 booms!
Well,
All right. We'll see you guys
should've
next week.
Someone to interfere in that
Love you guys.
process then. Cool.
got the candy for the kids? Knock, knock. Who got the candy for the kids? Knock, knock. For the kids, knock, knock.
Trick or treating, welcome into Halloween. Don't be scared when you start to hear the screams. Give me candy, we don't want no problems. Give it to me or you're gonna see a monster. Monster, monster.
Put some candy on your doorstep. I'm surprised there isn't more yet.
Where is all the Reese's? I'm about to tear this place to pieces. Yeah. Where is all your Kit Kats? Huh? Open up your baggie, let me get that.
I want everything I like. Open up and take a little bite. Mobbing all night, walking down the streets through the mist.
I think I'ma treat you with some tricks. Say it like this. Here's a little tip.
Give me all your candy, stop acting like a witch.
Knock, knock. Who got the candy for the kids? Knock, knock. Who got the candy for the kids? Knock, knock. Who got the candy for the kids? Knock, knock. Knock, knock. Knock, knock. Knock, knock. Who got the candy for the kids? Knock, knock. Who got the candy for the kids? Knock, knock. Who got the candy for the kids?
I'ma have to show the trick-or-treaters what it is. Goblins and ghouls and the werewolves moon. Zombies from the graveyard coming here soon.
Skeletons dancing with the ghosts in the streets where the mummies and the vampires feast.
Blood dripping from the candy bag. Bees coming out my mouth like I'm Candyman, huh?
Hocus pocus, are you into superstition? Vroom vroom on a broom, they be different.
Witches and Wiccans and devilish disguises coming from the smoke while it rises.
I get real happy when it's Halloween night. I'm a pumping sound full of fright.
Right?
We don't want no candy corn. We don't want no